All right. Hi, everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me. Can you? Hello? Testing. One, two, three. So, yes. Okay. Hi, everyone. Dr. Renee Glenn White here by Dr. B. What is this? Share? Sure. Okay. I'm sharing. And if you are joining me, I just sent this post. So, oh, that's where it's going to go? Uh, just post it. Okay. So they're going to get two posts. What ifs? All right. All right. Hi, everyone. Dr. Renita Glenn White here. Go by Dr. V. And thank you so much for listening and joining me today. I am your brilliant solutionist. Yes, I am your brilliant solutionist. I am also certified and credential life changer, and I'm also a college professor turned life professor ish. I am mainly all of that is talking about being really a strategic coach. And the bottom line is, I help brilliant people achieve impossible goals. And typically, the people I work with are they've been in the people who've been in their careers at higher levels about what 15, 15 years, maybe 15, 20 years in, and they're looking for the opportunity to redream, realign, redream, realign, reinvent, and realize that they have more to offer the world. So this is what I'm doing. It is something very different that I have not done before. I There's a lot of work that I do behind the scenes that I don't typically share. And I don't know why. It's like I do all of this research and data and participate in things and learn things about people and work with people. And then I come up like, all right, you should want to work with me, or I'm offering you this invitation to take this course or sign up for this resource, this, that, and the other. And you're probably like, where's this coming from? Because one moment you were out here speaking and then now you're saying you're a coach. Well, I've always been a coach, like since way back before the word became a coach, but I was in the academic setting and I didn't really understand coaching as a profession. And then I kid you not, probably within the last few years, I've just now been saying, okay, I think I can do this. And so my style of coaching is really in the area of advising people, high level people, providing high level support in multiple areas of your life. That's why I start off with helping brilliant people achieve impossible dreams and goals, because when I know what you're trying to achieve, or I work with you to say what you're really trying to achieve, then we can reverse engineer and figure out some of the layers underneath as to why you're not at that particular level. That is why I talk about being able to redream and then realign all about your core values and who you are and what you truly believe, and then reinventing. You may be in the stage of wanting to reinvent yourself, however that looks, in multiple areas of your life, and then realizing who you be and what you have to offer the world for more impact and influence, and as a byproduct, more income. All right, so I am doing hot seat. I'm not doing hot seat coaching, but I participated in hot seat coaching at an event kind of like a few months back. And I create things based on these results, but I want to share some of them with you. There are a lot of people, over 100 people, and I have their results from four simple questions, and so much came out from these four simple questions. And I wanted to share some of the things that the people said. Like, you can hear, I want you to hear their answers, things that they said to themselves. I may have to hold it like this, things that came out of their own mouths. And these people are doctors, lawyers, engineers, business owners, speakers, authors, millionaires, wives, husbands, mothers, fathers. They run the gamut, and a lot of them, majority of them, have already been successful in their careers, in their families, in their community, but they haven't quite gone to the next level. So I remember these responses. I remember working with a few of these people, because it's like I had people, we had people come in and fill out some things, and then we only worked with a select few people because we had a limited amount of time. But I want to share. I don't know how, I'm not going to go through all of them because, like I said, it's like over 100. uh like close to 170. I may do a series on this, I'm not sure. But I'm just going to start from the top. I think I'm going to set a goal. I'm only going to read 20 names so I don't be with you for long. And then if you're watching on the replay, you can give me some feedback about, whether or not this is helpful in this capacity. But I think a lot of times, we hear people talking about coaching, then we hear the testimonials, and even if it's a video testimonial, so you know that it's a real person, it's like, well, could they be putting on for the camera? What was their struggle? So I want you to hear the words that these people literally typed out. Now, that there will be certain things I'm going to omit, like identifiers, because I don't need you trying to find these people. But for the most part, I am going to read exactly what they said, unless it's something I know that is an identifiable trait. So if they are like, I work at this particular company in this role, and I feel about this with this person, because some of them be naming names and dropping stuff. I was like, y'all gotta tell all of that. But I will not read that. But I just wanted you to hear what people are saying. And if you, let me see, this is my big laptop. Well, no, I don't want. I was gonna hold it up so you can see, but I was like, no, the people's names are on here. What are you doing? I was an educator, so privacy and confidentiality is super important to me, especially with private coaching, one-on-one coaching, even in group coaching and life coaching. I mean, any level of coaching, it should be highly confidential, but when we're talking about life coaching, because people are really turning inward and sharing some really deep things, then you really want to be able to protect that person's privacy and for them not to feel like you're about to go tell all their business. And you're probably thinking, like, well, aren't you about to read their responses? One, you have no idea what event this was. Two, you probably weren't at that event, but if you were, you probably forgot what you said. Three, I'm not going to share any names or, like I said, any identifying remarks. And if the story sounds like too specific, you'll probably see me pause and readjust. I'm not faking it, but again, I want to make sure that I am being ethical, because in coaching, because there are no regulations, we still have to be ethical out here in these streets. And since my background is in education, I know all about the code of ethics and things like that. So there are four questions that we ask them. And when I look over here and I look past you, I have the four questions on this screen so I can keep referring to them. And then over here on this screen, I have the spreadsheet of the responses. And since the questions are at the top, they're going to move. So the four questions are, and I didn't change them. Well, let me read them this way so I can kind of look at you. Where do you tend to self-sabotage, and what is stopping you from creating the breakthroughs that you desire? Question number 2. Where is trust or the lack thereof showing up for you? I didn't write these questions. Do you struggle with self-image? How is this showing up and keeping you from being seen? And then the fourth question, what did you need to hear that you feel like you didn't get, and from whom did you want it the most? So why are those questions, why are they tailored that way? It's because at this particular event, now it aligns to what I did, like helping people break their personal glass ceilings. And at first it sounded like woo woo, like a personal glass ceiling. I don't have that. Yes, you do, because if you're not at the level you want to be, and it's not like something systematic that's really holding you back, it's you that's holding you back. So this event, it was like a personal development, self-help kind of event. And so we were looking at those four questions and providing a way for people to work on themselves so that they can show up and show out for other people, so that they can stop just surviving and going through the rigmarole, and but they can really be extraordinary, be beyond ordinary, speak up, show up. What is it called? Instead of surviving, we started thriving. Things like that. Like, really, let's shake off all of those, whatever's holding you down. I want to encourage you, motivate you, inspire you, but then I also want you to do the work so you can keep the momentum going. So it's kind of in that container with those four questions. So I'll read the four questions again. One, where do you tend to self sabotage, and what is stopping you from creating the breakthroughs that you desire? And I want to say a breakthrough is different than an aha moment. A lot of y'all out here are having aha moments and not true breakthroughs, but I'll say that for another day. Where is trust or the lack thereof showing up for you? Do you struggle with self image? How is this showing up and keeping you from being seen? And number four, what do you need to hear that you feel like you didn't get, and from whom did you want it the most? Now, I'm gonna when I read the response to the person, I am gonna read their responses in the order of the four questions. Because at first I was like, well, let me just read you all of the one questions and just go down the column like that. But I think it's I want you to see the connection about like how some people feel in one area, but they feel totally different in another area. And again, these are just four questions, but I'm pretty sure if we lay them out, or when I work with people, I lay out multiple questions so we can cover multiple areas of their lives. But this was just a smaller container and event. All right, so from the oh snap, it's moving. It was moving faster than I thought it was going to move. All right, so the one of them I was going to say the first person for the question is having the need to gain approval or love from people I thought should be closer because they are family. I'm not going to elaborate. And if you want me to elaborate on my thoughts, then let me know for the replay, or if you're in the chat that I cannot see right now if you are here. But I'm not going to elaborate. So I want to say that as well. So this person with the questions, maybe I need to go back and forth with the questions so you can kind of follow along, because I know it can be confusing. Like I said, this is my first time doing this. So I was like, instead of me overthinking it, let me just jump out here and do it. So the first question, do you struggle with self-image? How is this showing up for you and keeping you from being seen? This person says having the need to gain approval or love from people that I thought should be closer to me. Then what do you uh-oh. Where is trust or lack thereof showing up for you? In my relationships mostly, but honestly, my idea of gaining wealth after many storms. The third question, do you struggle with self-image? I'm gonna say this. Write all of these down, or maybe I should put them in the chat so that you can refer to them. Let me know which one works best for you. I want to keep the momentum going because we're already like almost 15 minutes in. Third question, I do struggle with self-image, even though I have many successes. See, I told you it shows up in my lack of confidence and willingness to show up for myself completely for fear of for fear of lack of approval. And then it says, "What did you need to hear? That I was enough. The real relationship accept you. Wait, the real relationships accept you without motive or prices against your core values or ethics." And like I said, I can see the people's name and kind of like what they do overall. And these are not people who are just sitting on the couch, or they are like just in a job, not just getting by. Some of them are, but majority of them are like high level professionals, like I said, business owners and things like that. And it's interesting how we all have a similar way of struggling, a personal glass ceiling. The next person, oh, I probably should have made these a little smaller. Okay. The next one, maybe if I do it this way. Like I made the gaps so big so I can get all of the questions, but now it's like backfiring on me. All right, so the next person, I keep saying that and the screen is moving. My apologies. So this person says, and they have high level degrees similar to mine. I self sabotage my personal dreams, my fears and beliefs that I don't have the skill set. How many of you? Oh, I said I wasn't going to elaborate. Okay, you see, look, okay. I just want you to hear this. The other question, where's the trust and the lack thereof showing up for you? In my romantic relationships and in my finances. And then my physical self image for sure, but not at a level to prevent me from moving forward. My professional self image is a greater challenge. And then limiting myself in my own mind is limiting myself in my own life. So I need to work on myself. All right. The next person. And they said just because some of these answers were very short and some of them were very detailed. And it was like the more detailed you could have been in your response, that way we were able to support you much deeper and quicker when it was a hot seat. So I want to remind you, if you're just coming in, these are responses to like hot seat questions. And some people, like when they just did these bullet points, like this next one, it was like, okay, well, that's nice to know, but they weren't like selected for like hot seat, hot seat. So it was like a pre-game. It was like pre-game and pre-coaching, so we can get there. But if they were already in the program, then we'd have been able to go in a deeper dive. And that's where I'm leaning towards sharing this information because I want you to go into a deeper dive, or if you want to work one-on-one, you have that option too. All right, so this person said procrastinating, then my own lack of trusting in myself that what I produce will be successful. And then the third question is the one with self-image. I'm fairly comfortable with my self-image. I love to improve, but I'm confident enough. And then I would have liked to hear unconditional support from my mother. So I told you all, like sometimes, it was in one area and people are like, no, I'm good. So you may not have an issue. Like I think sometimes, oh, I'm elaborating again. Okay, but anyway, I think sometimes the people think that I got to be broke, wretched, like broke down, wretched, just all depressed. And, that's why I need coaching. No, you could be good in a lot of areas, but you want to up level, or you could be really great in some areas, but shaky in some, and you want to, you know, up level those. So, yeah. All right. To the next person. I'm see how many I can get through because it's a lot of them. So this person says, for question number one, giving too many people my time and robbing my dream of fuel. I need to stop answering the phone and manage my kids by learning how to drown them out when necessary. No judgment. So I know like sometimes, and the thing is like these were anonymous when they were writing them, even though we asked for their name and email. But I still love that people were honest and we had them do this pre-screen. And then if you work with me, I do have you do that as well. Be open and honest, even if you decide not to work with me as a coach. You're only gonna grow, whether that's in your fight with a business coach, a health and fitness coach, a spiritual coach, whatever it is. You have to be open and honest about the areas you want to up level so that they can have a true starting point. All right. So then in the second question, this person said, I need to trust myself way more than I do. I need to believe that I am worth being heard and trust others more. The question about self-image, no, I don't unless my hair or clothes is off somewhat. I might be conscious about it, not wanting to be exposed or messy looking. That's real. And then my dad or my husband, when they were saying, who do you need to hear the most from? And this person said, my dad and my husband, I guess. The next person, high level people, I tell myself I can't do speaking engagements. Now, some of them were in different countries as well. We were international around here. So some of their English may have been off when they had to type it out, or some people were typing so fast and it was like just getting my thoughts out. They didn't have time to go back and correct. So if you see me struggling reading it because I'm trying to read exactly what it is, that's what's happening. The second question about trusting yourself and showing up. My lack of trust is, do I have the right words to tell my story? And if you don't know, I have been trained in working with people with speaking, telling their stories, uncovering what's underneath. And whether if you want to be on stage as a keynote speaker or in your community as a speaker, if you want to do presentations or just get on social media and do videos, I got you covered for there as well. It says I do not struggle with self-image at all. But see, I want okay, all right, I was getting too deep because I was like, you see, it's like I am gonna jump in on this one. So in one case, it's like I tell myself I can't do speaking engagements, but I don't struggle with self-image at all. Me as a coach, I see what you said. And if you're telling me this, I hear you, but I want you to understand that they do go together. If you are saying I tell myself I can't do speaking engagements or go places, there's something underneath there, and I'm going to say it has something to do with some level of self image. Now, again, this isn't a deep dive with this person. We didn't do all of that with this person, but those are the things like when you say that to the coach is supposed to be like, okay, I hear you, but then tell me more and let's go deeper in that. Now, what I do is I hear you, I want to go deeper, let's explore that. And then I come in with the framework and the plan. All right, here it is, let's work it and then move forward because I want you to achieve your goal. It's not enough for you to have this realization and then you feel like really good. Oh yeah, now I can go get speaking engagements, but then you don't actually put the things in place to do it. Okay. So then, all right, I'm getting all excited. So then the last question, I always want to hear I'm beautiful from my husband, but I always hear it from strangers instead. That's real. That's real. The next one is we talked about where do you tend to self sabotage? This person said self doubt, and then trust not showing up for yourself. Pretty much was the question number two. In myself, imposter syndrome, and if you've been watching some of my older videos, y'all know how I feel about imposter syndrome. Has been really creeping up more lately. And then for the third question, the response was stepping out on my own business. Stepping out doing my own business has shown me how much self doubt is present. And then the last thing, what do you need to hear? That I am enough and worth it. For all of you who are wanting to start businesses, I heard this phrase, but I didn't quite get it until I started really focusing on being a full time entrepreneur, like for real, for real. But stop saying that I was an accidental entrepreneur. I heard that starting a business, becoming an entrepreneur is the biggest personal development journey you will ever go on because it uncovers so much about who you are as a person at who you are at your core because it's you. It's all on you. And then I was like, yeah, sounds good. And then the second thing I heard about that was your business development is only going to go as far as your personal development. And I was like, sounds good, but it's so true. So I'm glad that you all can hear that this person said that. So now this is only person like number 10, or it's 10 on the charts. I think it's you subtract one. So it's person number 9, but don't expect me to keep up with the numbers. So again, the questions, if you're just coming in, I hear an echo. Hello, testing. Maybe it's just in my earpiece. You all let me know. So the first question was, where do you tend to self-sabotage and what is stopping you from creating the breakthrough that you desire? Question 2, where is trust or the lack thereof showing up for you? Question 3 or cluster 3, do you struggle with self-image? How is this showing up and keeping you from being seen? And question 4 or cluster 4, what did you need to hear that you feel like you didn't get and from whom did you want to get it from the most? All right. So for this question, the person said, I stay up too late at night and waiting for an assistant to come into my life and regard life as a bothersome series of pains in the butt. This person is from a different country. So, but I get the gist of what they're saying. The second answer, I don't trust others to not be screwed up and try to block or thwart my opportunities like they've done before. The other answer is yes, I hate having this pot belly. This is about self image. I hate having this pot belly and how it prevents women from being attracted to me. And then the fourth answer that they responded to, I needed my dad to tell me that I can do anything I put my mind to and that he was behind my writing instead of discouraging it. So I just want to share that. I'm gonna read a few more. This, if you're just coming in, I'm sharing some things that we did from hot seat coaching. And this is kind of the pregame of what some people answered before we took them up to do like laser focused hot seat coaching. And times I get on and teach and share and tell you all things about the services I offer. But I wanted to take you behind, I'm laughing at myself because it's an inside joke, behind the black curtain of what are people really struggling with? Is one thing to read testimonials, is one thing to watch people on social media, but I wanted you all to kind of hear Like these are real life people answering some questions. Like they didn't know they were going to get chosen or not. They're from all different walks of life, and maybe you can find your response or something that they said similar to what you're dealing with. And I'm talking about personal glass ceilings. If people were ever confused about what I meant about personal glass ceilings, I'm showing you some real life examples. And I would hold up my screen, but I told you all I'm protecting people's privacy. Another response. So the first question, the response is self sabotage and not good enough, like what's holding them back. Talking about trust, it says lack of trust from husband. The third response, yes, get tongue tied, ramble on, can't stay focused. And that was the part of what was that question? What do you about something about we're talking about self-image. And then the last one is like, well, what did you need what do you need to hear the most and from whom? You are so strong and confident and courageous, and they wanted to hear that from their husband. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. Let me know your thoughts if you're watching on the replay, if you are enjoying this, if this is making sense for you, something that I can prove to help you follow along, because I'm going between reading the questions and then reading the responses. All right, this person says, my eating habits and dealing with a challenging relationship with my kid's father. That is the part where do you self sabotage? And then the other one, not being able to be disciplined enough to maintain it. And sometimes this is all the person said. It says, yes, I struggle with remembering who I was and not loving who I am now. And if you can relate to any of these that I'm saying, put your comments down below. Normally, sometimes I do see the chat and sometimes I don't. I need to fix that. So if you are chatting and I don't see you live, trust me, I do go back and read them. And then they said, I sabotage myself and rationalize my behaviors. Now, I said I wasn't going to interject too much. I do want you to understand this: life coaching is not therapy or counseling. It is a way to see where you are, where you want to go, and then we work on some things to get you there. Me personally, and just like I did when I was a college professor teaching, students and adults who brought in their personal issues, if it's something that we cannot handle with the tools and strategies that we have, I know. Now, I'm not saying, now I'm a doctor, I'm not that kind of doctor, but there are things that I've been trained as an educator to look for because we do part of psychology and behavior analysis. I know when it's like, we need to pause right here and I need you to go over and get some professional help in this space. All right. So I don't want you to think that if you, and I said this before, if you are working with a life coach and there's something that you're having these thoughts that you just can't climb out of and it's deeper than being stuck, because that's one thing, but when it's deep, deep down depression or any of those other things like that, then they should be telling you you may want to go seek some professional like help in that area where people can diagnose and treat you and possibly give you medication. I'm just saying. So even when I was a college professor, we had some students and they were adults. Like, I taught at master's level and doctoral level, and they were in charge of people. And it was like, okay, you don't feel like you're a great leader, or there's something in your personal life. Again, it could be something like self image. Well, let's work on some things like that. Let's talk about that. And this is before I thought about coaching or anything like that. But when then they would have these intrusive thoughts, or they were feeling, certain anger towards students or the teachers they were working with, or they wanted to like unalive themselves because things were so much for them, I would immediately be like, all right, health services, please. Because that was beyond the scope and I didn't want to play with people's lives like that. And I have taken that into coaching as well. All right. So the next person, how long I've been on here? Okay, I have a few more minutes. So this person, about the question when we talked about self-sabotaging, says fear of not being great enough or accepting. And then about the question with trust, friendship, and family, self image. No, I don't struggle with self image. And then I need to hear that I can accomplish my dreams. Simple things. We have no idea what people need to hear from us, and we be holding back, or we just like, oh, that's so minor. Look, all right. I'm gonna go to 20. I'm on number 14 because I'm getting excited and it doesn't do any good if I'm just excited by myself. If you are listening and enjoying this, let me know. All right, so this person, the response to their question, especially in relationships with my body and money, talking about self sabotage, then when I feel alone and without support, about the lack of trust, I always, I have always tried to hide. This is self image. I have always tried to hide, even in plain sight. I gained weight as a way to disappear. That is so real. And I needed to hear that. I needed to hear. I guess she was saying that I was fine, beautiful, and good as I was. My mother never praised me in public. She did it with other people, but not for me. Wow. And some of this is, oh, I keep going off on a tangent. Some of this is heartbreaking. And this is where the empathy and the compassion comes from as a coach. And it's like, I didn't experience things like that. However, I don't show up and say, well, I ain't have that problem. I don't know what's wrong with you, or don't judge the mother either. And so you want to make sure that you're working with someone who's empathetic, they have compassion, but then they also leave the person's dignity intact. Like the client can bash whomever they're going to bash, but I'm not going to be like, oh, you're right, they deserve it, because they're still human with feelings, and we're not going to place judgment on their behavior. We're not condoning or excusing their behavior, but it does neither one of us any good to move forward by by focusing on that negativity. Now, if you need to say it and get it out, I'll give you the safe space to do so. But you and your coach shouldn't be like, girl. All right. The next one, about self sabotaging, not believing in myself. And then this one talking about trust is, I do not trust myself. They didn't elaborate about that. This one about self image, yes, I do. I think it all boils down to not being confident. And then I needed to hear how to love myself and trusting my guts. This one says, back away when I see myself succeeding. That's how they self sabotage. The other one part of that is, I don't trust myself to stand up for myself or to solve problems. And self image, yes, weight gain. I shy away from standing on stage and have others stand in for me. And I told y'all, these are some high level people. You may have seen some of these people in these social media streets. And I'm telling you, these people, even though they show up, you have no idea how much it takes sometimes for a person to just show up, whether that's on camera, on stage, at work, with all of the things that they have to climb through. And then this person says, I need to stop hearing my own inner voice that says step back. And you see, that was a progression for them. All of those kind of built upon each other. Not all of them were like that, but for this person, it was. And the next one, we have three more to go. I have a great network marketing company and have done a lot of training around it, but I don't do the daily actions needed to be successful. All I have to do is reach out to people and develop relationships. That is how this person self sabotages. See, I told you they are successful in their company, but they haven't gone to the next level. They self sabotage by not reaching out and develop relationships. Brilliant people know the solutions to their own problems, but we need support to. I know the answer, but it's something between knowing the answer and actually doing the action that's not connecting. And then that's where me or some other coach steps in. So then they say, I don't trust myself in areas of money. I overspend and don't save enough. I worry that I am not enough, that I don't look good. Who would want to listen to me, trust me, or buy from me? Isn't that interesting? They do have a successful company already, but if they can get this together, imagine what level they can go to. And then they said, I didn't hear that I was smart enough to handle money, that I was worthy enough to be successful. I am like holding back because I'm like, oh, if this person was in front of me, this is what we would work on. So two more. So well, after this one, two more. So fear of failure, that's how they self-sabotage. I feel like an imposter sometimes, like second guessing myself, not trusting myself. That's been a theme here. Yes. Oh, this one is about the what was question number 3 again? Self-image. Yes, so much that I have forced myself to take tests or exams to be the expert in what I do. I want to trust myself in my profession with my kids as a mother and a woman in business. She didn't elaborate on that. So this one is talking about the where do you struggle with self-image, and that was her response about forcing herself to take tests so she could show up as an expert. And it says, what did you need to hear and from whom? My dad. I need to hear that I am enough and that I am, and for him to say, I am proud of you. All right, which one is this? Okay, so this question, the answer from this person, I worry too much about how people will perceive me. And again, if you're just coming in, I'm reading some responses of what we've done with pre-hot seat coaching because I thought it was important to share that you can these people are highly successful people in multiple areas of their lives, and I wanted to you all have a clearer understanding of what it means by personal glass ceilings. And when you hear me say, how do you break your personal glass ceilings? Because it's not always the system, the man, the people, it's you. And so these people, like some of them, we did work with them with hot seat laser focused questions, but some people, um, this was just like our pre screen. All right. So then, and then it was 4 questions. So the second answer is in talking about what I do in my business. This one is for trust. I make impact and help transform, but talking about it is difficult. How many of you feel like you're the best kept secret? Like I do this over here, but I can't let the words come out of my mouth. And then about self image, somewhat, I sometimes feel like I am not supposed to be different. And that's their response. And then the part about what did you need to hear and from who? And from whom? An apology from my mother until, wait, an apology from my mother until today. She's never acknowledged the things that she chose to do that impacted me. And all I've wanted to hear is an apology. I've apologized to her numerous of times, but never reciprocated. I was gonna say something. I was like, no, we're not gonna go there. All right. And this is the last one. All right. So if you are enjoying this as much as I am, let me know because I have a whole lot more to read. And it's not again, if you're just coming in, it's not about sharing the people's businesses because you don't know these people, but it is about hearing the language that some other people are using and what they're struggling with. If you're struggling to find the words of where you need support, how you need support, or if you're feeling like I should not be feeling this way because I am successful and you get to define success however you want to, I'm telling you, these people are the same. Like they are successful and the language is short, clear to the point, sometimes it's messy because you just need to get it out. And so if you're like, if you go back and rewatch this and you type in some of the same words that they said, like, look, Dr. V, this is it. I heard you read this about somebody. That's exactly how I'm feeling. I couldn't put the words to it. You're welcome. All right, so our last person, and I'll read the questions one more time. I need to find a better system. Y'all help me out. How would you all want me to do this? Put them in the chat or what? Where do you tend to self sabotage, and what is stopping you from creating the breakthroughs that you desire? And I told you all at the beginning that breakthroughs and aha moments are different. So a lot of y'all are having aha moments, but not true breakthroughs. Question number 2: where is the trust or lack thereof showing up for you? Now, cluster 3, because it's more than one question. Do you struggle with self image? How is this showing up and keeping you from being seen? And then cluster 4, because it's more than one question. What do you need to hear that you feel like you didn't get? And from whom did you want it from the most? So we're going to end with this last person. And we actually did hot seat this question, this person. Oh, I was like, why is it like this? That's because when we looked at the people, we put them in different categories because where we were at this event, we were focusing on a few areas of your life. And if you've been listening to me for a while, I said you can focus on between 5 and 15 areas of their life. So when we went back and I looked at everything, I color coded, the people like, well, let's hot seat someone in this area. So we can, this sounds like a similar question and they could be the person. So that's, if you see me looking like that a few times, that is what happened. So this person, we actually did bring them up. And so this person said for the answer to number one, financial trust in myself in making and managing money. Number two, the answer to number two, finances. I don't trust myself. And they put in parentheses, they have dyslexia or they've been diagnosed with dyslexia because dyslexia doesn't have you. I too share that if you did not know. So don't use that as an excuse. And then I am becoming more comfortable being seen and I am worth it. I think because, and I know if you're listening to like, well, that person didn't have a lot to say, but you got to remember this was a total experience. So this person was also like very active and participating. So we knew that they would also go along with being singled out and laser coached. And that's another thing. Like if you've been quiet, chilling in the background, never saying anything, we don't know like your disposition, and then we pull you up because we think what you said. I mean, we know we can support you in this way, but we don't need you. We don't know, yeah. So just in case if you're ever at an event, I'm giving you some behind the scenes things. Not every coach does it this way. So don't go to an event and think that this strategy is going to be how it's done everywhere. It's not. But I know if you're listening to this person, like they didn't say anything deep, but they were very active in the coaching, the event. So we felt comfortable bringing them up and taking a deep dive, and they were familiar with some of the other programs and services, so we could take them a little further, than the surface level. All right, so I'm going to stop it right here. Thank you so much for listening, learning with me. I hope something that sparked your attention. Let me know what some of your takeaways from this. If you are interested in, I should put it in the chat. If you are interested in just having, I don't want to say a sample because you can book a clarity call with me. But if you really want to understand, like it's almost like a deeper dive of a hot seat where it is laser focused coaching on you. It's not going to take days or months or weeks or years. It is something that's going to get like kind of jump starting, you know, of where you are. Let's take an assessment of where you are and let's drill down so you can have a starting point. That is what an intensives are for. People run them differently, but for the month of July and August, I have this special renovate me. It's a special invite because the price is a special offer. And I did that because I was doing some work on my house and I was prompted to do that because it's like there's some things we got to uncover before you want to redo the whole house. Let's just take it in stages. So the intensive is a way to, let's look at your life in stages. It's when you see it, it's going to look like it is a one day, a few hours, about what 2 or 3 hours that we work together, but there's pre-work that you get that I need you to do and get support, almost like pre-screening, some questions I want you to answer and some things I want you to do. Then we get together, so it's all focused on you. So we do a deep dive. We don't spend time on the fluff because I need you to take care of the fluff before you get to me. Then we take a deep dive and come out with a plan, maybe uncover some things and have a, a customized strategic plan for you to up level in whatever area that you identified, and then you get post support after that. So it is a total experience. So when you're looking at the price, you're like, that's what you want me to pay for that little bit of time? It's not time. It is the experience and the shifts and the true breakthroughs that you will get when we sit down and work through whatever you need to work through, have a focus, have a plan, and support to help you move forward. All right. So I will put that in the chat. And you can go to drvernita-glenn-white.com/intensive. You will see it on the, oh, can't do two things at once. You will see it on when you go to the site. You will see it, and then it's a timer. And I have to make sure the timer is still working because it's for July and August. Even I encourage you not to delay so we can, get you set up for, while we're still in Q3, and don't delay. But if you are like, okay, I do want to do it, but I already have some things planned, I do invite you to go ahead and sign up, book, and schedule during this window. So I'm saying this now, you know, if you like book it now, like today is July 26th, and you're like, well, I was already planning on going to summer vacation the whole month of August, but I really can't do it until like the first week of September. And if my calendar is open, I will still honor that price, that special price for you because you booked it inside the window. Okay. But you have to book and schedule. So it's not enough just to schedule because I'm not going to hold your spot if you're just scheduling, but you schedule. And if you want to have like a pre talk with me, you can do that as well and say like if you just have some questions, you can get on my calendar now and say, okay, yes, I definitely want to do it, but I can only do it in September. Then we can have that conversation. All right. So that is what I want you. That is my takeaway. Let me know what your takeaways were. I had fun doing this. I may be back to do this as well because I think it's helpful. But you all let me know. Thank you so much for listening and learning with me. And have a great day, good morning, great evening, wherever you are in the world. And remember to be well. I almost forgot my saying. Remember to be well, to be empowered, to be bold, and to be brilliant. Until next time. Bye.